Hi guys. So many of you know I often help out ladies and I talk more about the ladies. It's only because I'm working on healing both the divine feminine and the divine masculine at once. Most of my clients are actually not always female. It's probably a 50-50 mix of both masculine and feminine. And I spend a lot of time talking to the masculine. And I think the reason that is because what you guys don't realize is that I remember most of my past lives. In fact, the most difficult thing about me is that for all of my past lives, I was a man. Like for the majority of them. Okay. It wasn't that I wasn't female in some, I absolutely was a female. But before retiring from this plane, I used to be a male. I've been in wars, I've been a man. It's the best way I can tell you. So I have this mentality still very much in place. And so we often have conversations, gentlemen and I, and they actually, when they get on calls with me, what's really cool is they really just say, Sin, oh my God, I totally relate to what you're seeing. I couldn't understand what drew me to this female before or what it is about her. But now, because, just listening to you, I see what attracts me. And so I wanted to share that moment with you because was having a great conversation with my friend Brian. And he was telling me about how his attraction to other females has really changed and how he's changed and how, he's grown as a person and his likes have changed because of his own self-concept. And one of the things that he was saying is that the most attractive feature about the female is the fact that although she wants you to be in her company, she really doesn't need you. And it was a moment in which he texted a woman and she didn't reply for like 2 or 3 hours or something like that. And in a minute he recognized himself and he said, I do this all the time. If, nothing is more infuriating to a woman who believes that she's hot or whatever and that is used to having men fall all over her than the man that ignores her. That's the one she wants. Meanwhile, all the ones that were treating her amazingly, that's not the one she's looking at. What is that inside of you? It's a very simple concept. You are always only looking at yourself, right? And as women or female energy trying to attract male or mask energy in other women, it really doesn't matter. Okay. We have to remember that our power is receptive and magnification of who they are. That's what our power is in mirroring and matching efforts until they recognize themselves. Okay. That's what a man is drawn to. Okay, he is looking for his feminine counterpart, his backbone, that which is not weak, that which reminds him of himself. He is looking for himself. And as women, you are doing the exact same thing. I don't care in terms of body, I don't really care what preferences are. That's not what I'm talking about. You are looking for yourself. You're always looking for yourself. Regardless, you are seeking your counterbalance energy. So in becoming that, you attract that. It's so simple. Being chosen all the time, again, really simple because the division isn't out there. See, a lot of times most people say to me, I'm not the one divided, he's the one divided, or he's the one, I can't control how he thinks, or I can't control how she thinks, and whatever the case may be. When you say that, let me correct your perception. Let me help you guys out because it's the biggest mistake and the whole reason that you don't get to attract and have a harmonious union on 3D plane is real simple. That perception is divided. It's divided. It's you're saying I can't control what that person thinks. I don't see that person as within me. I don't see that person within me. I see that person outside of me. And didn't if you were paying attention to anything that I've ever said, It's remember that your eyes reflect back and that time and space are a mirror. And so go to the mirror. If you haven't done this yet, go to the mirror. Or think about when you're driving in the car, right? You look in the mirror in front of you, right? But you see behind you. It's true every single time. So time and space point into you. So when you look at it as out of me, you are creating a division that is not there. You are the reason you're not together. Do you understand that? Because you're going, oh, I can't. That's him. He's got this or she's got that. And blah, 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 blah. That's very divided. Okay? The whole construct is yours. People show up as guests in your construct to show you into you and what you think. It is your job to bridge the divide and use the mirror in your favor so you can see what needs to be adjusted in your perception. But if you're divided, you're never going to get this union. Why? Why? You're looking at it wrong. You're looking at it backwards. What I teach you guys is how to see in reverse so that you can understand the source origin of your creation, because as that, you have the power to change it. But if you're looking at something separate and outside of you, you have no power to change that. That's dead matter. You have to realize you're the intelligence behind the whole thing in order to change the whole thing. Otherwise, you're going to work a lot harder than you need to. I'm not saying you won't get your prize. You can mindlessly sit there and affirm forever. You can do whatever it takes to convince yourself of what I'm already telling you. But the shortcut is know this is your construct and see it as one unit so that you can collapse your construct and you can have what you want. You have to remember 3D is made very simply. 3D is made this way. What you don't want, what you do want. All floating around you all the time. You stand smack dab in the middle. While what you do want and what you don't want are floating around, floating around, floating around, floating around. And then when you focus on either thing, you get that. If you understood how simple it is, you would laugh at how much you worry about manifestation when manifestation only happens with your realization. Very simple. But a divided view will never achieve a harmonious union. Never. When you say, oh, they're doing that or they're this, that, nope. Nope, that's outside of you. A person will always show you inside of yourself, and activating this mirror consciousness is the most important thing that you can ever do because it will help you fix or bridge the divide. You are only moving in mind, and you have to remember your brain sits inside your skull in absolute darkness. It is reproducing everything based on what you tell it, on how you feel. That's it. And so you are literally the seeing eye dog for your brain, and then your brain reproduces whatever you told it. So to not know this and give this power to someone else is silly, backwards, antiquated, and 3D-like. But we're no longer in 3D energy, we're in 5D energy. And so to have the type of energy that has whatever it wants instantly all the time, you have to know this. You have to know this. Okay? So in not dividing, in mirroring someone, that's how you attract. We have to mirror these gentlemen or these masc energies. Now, I don't mean to throw out the feminine idea. No, you want to be the feminine version of this counterpart, so that when he looks at it, he or she looks at it, will find it attractive. You have to understand the science behind the attraction in the first place. The only thing we're ever attracted to is ourselves. So that's why when you're in love with yourself, the experiences that follow are going to be as such. Common sense. But when we're not, of course, it's going to be difficult, or it's going to seem difficult, or it's going to seem more difficult than it need be. It's totally unnecessary. You are only attracted to yourself. And discovering what that self is why we're here. To be that it girl, that it guy, you gotta be unapologetically you. Don't censor your words. Don't let fear decide what you do and don't do. No, people are gonna be totally attracted to that smoking hot version of you that's not afraid to be you. Right? That's the attraction factor. So use this in your favor. Know what it is you're working with. It really does make a difference. It makes a huge difference in your life when you know what it is you're working with. You know, it's funny because gentlemen confirm this to me all the time. And I wanted to validate that only because sometimes I wonder if people take me seriously as a woman because they think of me as a woman. So when I try and help the divine masculine, or I try and give advice for the feminine for the divine masculine, I wonder, because what was so funny is here I was saying all this stuff and I lost a lot of people to the one to the women that wanted to hear it from a man. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea. Most of my life, that's what I was. It's actually easier for me to be in the male persona than it is for me to be in the female persona, right? However, there's a lot of power in the feminine, and so that's what I'm here to help. But I provide the masculine and the feminine in balance in order to help either side, because both are important. Both are important. In fact, there's a non-binary code in your brain that when you activate it, you attract your partner, regardless of gender. It's nothing to do with gender. It's in realizing you're the whole thing that attracts the partner that's the whole package. When you don't realize you're the whole thing, you get little pieces of yourself to you. These things are called soulmates. Karmic partners, soulmates, whatever. That's what these things are called, right? Okay. They all are little pieces of you. But when you realize you're the whole thing, you are going to attract the whole partner. What is that called? A twin flame. Because it's all of you. It's not a little piece of you. It's not past life you. It's not future you. It's all of you in the whole thing. Now, these are just labels for different versions of you. At the end of the day, the only thing a twin flame is going to teach you is it's you that you are seeking. No one else. So please think about these things. Think about how to embrace both sides unapologetically. Be fine with whatever choices you make. Appreciate, even if you've been beat up by your choices, appreciate those choices because they're behind you now. And even if you learned for half of your life what not to do only, that experience is valuable. Because it would be insanity to do it again if all you did was gather what not to do, right? But it is valuable because now that you know what not to do, do the opposite and get the opposite result. Easy peasy. You already proved it works the other way. Now prove it works this way. It doesn't have to be difficult. Okay, guys? All right. This is just a quick Sunday message, but believe me, to be chosen, you have to choose yourself. It's the only way that it works. And when you do, you can sound like the gentleman in my inbox who have more women than they know what to do with. But quality women, because let me correct this, right? Gentlemen, you've probably always had more women that you know what to do with, right? However, half of them were like, oops, not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one, right? Okay. But quality women in your relationship, you're like, ooh, that one. Ooh, that one too. That one too. Right? Until you decide what's the best for you. But notice how different the quality of the woman is when she's like you. It's a very different, most empowering thing. A gentleman or feminine who are masculine women. Either way, it works the same way. If you want to sound like that, where you have more women than you know what to do with, eventually. Now, again, you're just choosing. You'll eventually choose the one that you like or whatever, and that's great. However, you'll notice the quality changed, and that's important. That's important. Because that shows that you have healed also within yourself, and you've become the greater version of you. And since 3D is just a feedback loop, that confirmation better feel good. Good feeling. To be successfully moved in mind from things are happening to me to no, I'm making this baby happen. Okay? Love you guys. Have a great weekend. The rest of your weekend.